Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special virtual church where we are celebrating the 70th year anniversary of the accession to the throne for Queen Elizabeth II, our Queen of England, and who oversees the whole Commonwealth. And don't forget, also today is Pentecost, so we shall have some Pentecostal hymns. So if that inspires your choice in hymn requests, then that would be fab. So as today is here in England, this weekend has been the Platinum Jubilee. Let's start with something very appropriate for the Platinum Jubilee. So will you please be virtually upstanding for the Gordon Jacob fanfare leading straight into the National Anthem. I personally think that the national anthem here in England is made so much better by preempting it with the fanfare. And did you know, actually, there's a little bit of a dispute between the chord sequence here, so that was G major, or B major. I always do G major first and then B major later. So today, lots of hymns, all of which have been chosen by yourselves. I've made sure that we're having all the hymns from the coronation in the 50s, and I'm also including all of the hymns that we had at the service of Thanksgiving from St Paul's Cathedral in London just last Friday. So yes, some really fabulous hymns coming up, and lots of organ music as well. I've chosen some organ music and also some choral music. I've chosen one or two of the choral items from the coronation, which I think could be quite fun. Now, if Hugo manages to get to bed and Caroline manages to come down, she and I will be doing some duets together. But before we get there, let's have our first hymn tonight. So the wonderful patriotic hymn, Thaxted, I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love, etc. The words are by Cecil Arthur. Spring Right, a tune has been adapted from Holst's The Planet. And it reminds me, I've actually got a new arrangement, which I might just play, actually. I might play the new arrangement. I vow to thee, my country. Okay, so this is the new arrangement, with an introduction as well. Whilst I'm playing this, I really would like to know whether you've been celebrating the Jubilee. Have you had any street parties? If so, let us know in the chat. A huge thanks to Katie Dixon for requesting that. Apparently, Katie, the tune, as you've called it on the spreadsheet, well-known tune. Yeah, well, there's only one tune, as far as I'm aware, to those words. Can't imagine any other music to those words, can you? And did those feet in ancient time? Can you imagine singing that to something else? I really, really can't. So, have you all been telling me what you've been doing for parties? I fully expect that people outside of England have not been partying. I don't know, perhaps you have. Maybe if you're in Canada, you might have been doing so, or if you're down in Australia, you might have been doing so. Hello, Hugo. I look forward to seeing what you've been doing. We had a little street party last night. It's a very small affair on our street with the neighbours. And Hugo was, of course, a star of the show, as always. Let's have the next hymn, which is Christ is Made the Sure Foundation. I need to get my hymn book ready, because it's not in my BIS hymnal. I thought it was. It's the wonderful tune Westminster Abbey, 205, Peugeot 205, my first car. If anybody wants to let me know what their first car was, I would be very genuinely interested, because as most of you might know by now, I have a fondness for cars. Christ has made the sure foundation and the precious, I can never say that word, I always have to say that word twice, and the precious cornerstone, who the two walls underlying, bound in each, binds both in one. Holy Zion's help forever, and her confidence alone. The good news is, even though we are celebrating the Queen's 70th anniversary, all of these hymns are just absolute corkers, well known across the globe, so you're not going to be left out. Westminster Abbey is the name of this tune. We'll have 4 verses. Absolutely fabulous hymn, and if you don't know the wider context from which the hymn actually comes. It comes from an anthem written by Henry Purcell, "O God, Thou art my God." A wonderful a piece written whilst Purcell was the organist at Westminster Abbey, hence its tune name here. And the all sorts of farmyard animals sounds coming from next door. Can you hear the cockerel and the cow and the tractor? The very end of the anthem ends with the words "Alleluia, Alleluia," and it's this tune here. The next request is actually, so I'm actually just getting through some of my own requests at the minute, but I've got lots of requests of yours to get through, so don't you worry. Immortal, Invisible, 672 in the Red Hymn Book. Oh no, it's not. Darn it. I got my numbers in the wrong order. Damn my dyslexia. Immortal, Invisible, 676. There we go. Just turn a couple of pages luckily and it was there. So Immortal, Invisible, God only wise, in light inaccessible, hid from our eyes. This was sung, as was the previous hymn actually, at St. Paul's just on Friday. Those people who follow me on Instagram and perhaps on YouTube would have seen a video that I put on just earlier. A very proud video of me boasting, I suppose, that the organist who played for the service on Friday was my organ student. I was his very first organ teacher. So a very proud moment when you see one of your students doing so well for themselves. So, Immortal, Invisible, with some last verse reharmonisation by the wonderful Barry Rose. Knick-knack. Well, I should say that actually I always play this particular hymn at that speed. I think it is a very leisurely speed. And I have noticed that my greater pedal piston isn't working. Toe piston. Let me just very quickly get this set up, because I need my my toe piston to work. Hopefully, if I just do that, that and that, hope that works. Yes, there we go. Perfect. That'll do. Okay, well, I hope you're all having a great time. I hope you're all having a good weekend. I just returned back from Romsey Abbey this evening, where I was playing for Evensong, a bit of Stamford in C, and the anthem was Grayston Ives' Listen Sweet Dove, a bit of Psalm 138, and the William Smith responses. The choir was going to St George's Chapel, Windsor, on Wednesday, so Windsor Castle, to sing Evensong there, which will be a lot of fun. And obviously I'll be going to accompany them, so yay. I know the organ well, actually. I know the organist there, Luke Bond, and I know some of the lay clerks. So it'd be nice to see if I can catch up with some old friends from St George's. Right, now I'm going to play a piece. I'm going to start with a quiet organ piece. It's Nimrod. Now, this was played before the service, before the coronation. A whole bunch of stuff was played, including Crown Imperial, which we'll have later, and Nimrod was played. So I thought, oh, perfect. We know Nimrod. I thought we'd have it. So we shall. So we'll start really quietly, obviously, and then we'll basically go from there. Okay, so Nimrod. beautiful, isn't it? And I really hope that everybody in the Abbey in the 50s, 1953, were very hushed. Oddly enough, actually, we have the Westminster Abbey ambience tonight. So if you listen very carefully now, hopefully that's how quiet they were when that one was being played. Right, so what? So here we go. So actually now we're going to go into your requests. I've had, most of those were mine, largely. And we're going to have some of yours. So who we're going to start with? We're going to start with Ben. Ben Wallace has been a long member of our community, in the community for a long time, a long-standing member, and always comes forward to help. He always submits really cool requests and gives me very high-quality scans, which is very much appreciated. And he's asked for Majesty worship His Majesty, unto Jesus be glory, honour and praise. So I thought we'd have it. We've had this one a few times recently over the past few weeks, which is absolutely no problem at all. Now, curiously, the copy that Ben has sent me is in B flat major. So let's see how this one sounds compared to the one I played recently in G major. Jerry, thank you very much. I just flashed up orange on my screen. Thank you very much, Jerry. Have you got a request, my friend? Okay, so Majesty, worship His Majesty. The tune is actually called Majesty as well. So perfect, I think, for this weekend, Your Majesty. It feels like it's so short, doesn't it? It feels like it should go on. It feels like it should be one verse of 2 or 3 verses. I don't know why there is only one verse to that. I remember playing that for the first time. I think I played it faster than that, or at least that speed. And someone in the chat said it was too slow. But I think if you do it faster than that, it's over so quickly, and you can't get through the words. The only thing I did think, you know, we have this bit here. Your glory, that bit is a very long note to sustain, 8 beats, which is a bit odd. But hey ho, Ben, are you in with us tonight? You always listen back and leave me good comments, so I don't think you're with us right now. But I hope that was okay for you. Leave me a comment in the video when you've seen it. Ah dear. Right. So Ben is one of our patrons, has been for a long time, and a very keen supporter. So thank you very much, Ben. Where we go next? Though Jesu, the very thought of thee. Let's see if this is in my hymnal, or whether I'm going to have to search through copious amounts of hymn books to find it. I know it's in NEH, but I hope I can find it on here. Jesu, no, I've not added it. Do you know what, guys? I'm being really unorganised today. I always put, apart from today, all of the hymns that you request in the BIS hymnal, so I can just scroll through it on the iPad, but for some reason I just haven't done it today. I don't know what was going on. And I was late for the rehearsal tonight at Romsey. I got my time wrong, which is not entirely my fault. Maybe it was. Yeah, I'm all over the place in a minute. Jesu, the very thought of thee. Where is it? Jesu, the very 385. And actually, I apologise, Julian, you have even put the hymn number next to your requests. So had I looked, then I would have got it even quicker. So Julian Goldring has requested, Jesu, the very thought of thee, with sweetness fills my breast, but sweeter far thy face to see, and in thy presence rest. A beautiful hymn this, music by Gordon Slater. It's called St. Botolph. I don't know whether it has any connection to the Platinum Jubilee, perhaps not. Hi Ben, you are in. Yes, well, perhaps I should play it again, actually. Do you know what, Ben, I might do, after this next hymn, I might give you another rendition of it, because it is over so quickly, isn't it? Or maybe we'll have it at the end. If you remind me, we'll have it at the end. Can you hear the tremulant? Well, so should I say the tremulants? Until recently, I'd not quite realised this organ also has a tremulant on the Grand Orgue, or the Great Division. So all of these stops, I don't know whether the reeds are under tremulant or not. I'd be surprised if they are. Well, so there's one way to find out, isn't there? Oh yes, they are. What a strange effect. So we are in Doodle Lounge, as most of you would have probably worked out by now. My favourite organ in the Habsburg world. And it looks like I'm going to actually go over there and record it in the near future. So I'll be very interested to record it and compare it to the one that we know here. So yay, that's really fantastic, isn't it? Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just reading my my video producer's chat over there. Something, Jerry had a glitch for something. I'm not sure. Was it my voice? Hopefully everything's working okay. Right, now thank we all our God is up next. This is a request from Derek Home. Is that Home or Horn? Horns. Sorry, no, I can't see whether it's an RN or an M. I literally can't see. Oh, it is RN. Oh dear. Is that print? I'm going to blame the font for that. The edge of the R is unbelievably close to the N. It makes it look like an M. David Horn has requested, now thank we all our God. Nun danket, alle Gott. Just whilst I'm finding that hymn, I just would like to say thank you to all of those of you who have followed me on Instagram. I'm getting notifications that people are following me on Instagram. So let's see where we're up to now. 1,644 followers on Instagram. I'm really enjoying putting content on here actually. Short videos, no longer than 60 seconds, which is why my video of the National Anthem and the fanfare the other day was played really quickly, because it has to be under 60 seconds, otherwise it won't go online. And it also encourages good photography as well. And I like that. I like people to be creative with their photographs. It's a good place to be. You know, you don't often see political messages or, you know, just people posting endless links to news articles and things like that. You see, there are lots of cats on there, which is good news, and dogs and other things as well. But you can really customize your feed by following or subscribing to exactly who you want to see. So I'm sort of new to Instagram. I've only been doing it for a few months. I had an account for a while, but I haven't really been uploading anything serious for long. So I'm feeling my way. So if you are interested, it's instagram.com/beauty.in.sound. I think Nightbot has already left a link. So now thank we all our God for Derek Horn. Oh no, Richard, you had your account hacked. That's annoying, isn't it? You never got it back. Okay, here we go. Wonderful hymn. This hymn always reminds me of St Paul's Cathedral, because a while ago, when I was young, as a teenager, they did a documentary at St Paul's following various parts in various teams, the vergers and the stonemasons, the cleaners, the clergy, and the choir. It was under John Scott's time there. And I always just have a vision, a memory of the camera sort of coming into an evensong or Eucharist. And they were singing this hymn, and one of the trebles on this section here was that particular line when the camera sweeps round, and this boy was just, mouth was wide open, tongue was in the right position. It was just a wonderful thing to see. Does anyone, by any chance, have that recording? I've been wanting to watch that again for years, ever since my dad taped over it with golf. True story. I used to watch it back to back until it was taped over. It was in the 90s, I think. So let's now remember that camera shot as we all sing or listen to Now Thank We All Our God, Nun danket alle Gott. Such a cool hymn. I absolutely love that. I find it a really powerful hymn, both in terms of the words and the music. It's one of my absolute favourites. I really must do a new top 10, my top 10. It would be really hard to count down from 10, but I will do it. I will do it. We did one last year, the year before. No, it was last year. I think because Hugo had just been born, and I remember Caroline sang on it. But we should do a new one. In fact, what we should do is ask people like Martin or Paul, Doug, Carolyn, Keith, or Jonathan, the regular people. I should ask you to give me your top 10, along with a little introduction to each piece, sub 20 seconds for each piece, for each hymn. And I'll play it. I think that could be a winner. That's a good idea. That's how ideas of beauty and sound come to life. You know, you just sort of back of a fag packet. Does it work? Chuck it out if it doesn't work. If you don't think it works, if you think it's got legs, just try it. And then sometimes you're onto a winner. Sometimes you're not onto a winner. you've got a bit of a donkey with 3 legs. You have to very politely retire it. Crown him with many crowns. To which tune? Ooh, Diademata, of course. Who's this? King Laudrup, up in Scotland. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Now let's turn our attention to Doctor. I assume it's Doctor Rawsthorne for a little bit of last verse in this one. I've got a feeling this one's going to be really, really good. Page number 94. So let's have a listen to Crown Him with Many Crowns. 4 verses. Verse 4, final verse, will be a reharmonisation extraordinaire. I knew it would be a good one. I just knew it. So I just had a feeling, and that feeling was right. I'm glad you've spotted the socks. So the socks are actually my British socks. You know, funny enough, I don't have any other British themed socks. These are the only ones I've got. So they've got rather appropriate. We'll have a look. Rather appropriately. I don't know whether you can see or not, but they've got a crown. Well, they've got lots of crowns on them. I do an Anna Lapwood and lift up my leg like that. Red Bus, London Eye, the Big Ben. Quiz question: what is Big Ben actually called? First person to get the answer wins a bit of wins a cookie. Yeah, that's it. So the London Eye, Big Ben, red buses, and some thorns. So thorns? We're crowning him with many thorns. Crowns. I don't know where it's a thorn. Where did thorns come from? Crown of thorns. That must be why. Yeah, crowns. No thorns in sight. Well, unless I've been walking outside and walking near the Paracantha, and there certainly are some thorns then. Elizabeth Tower. I've got it. There we go. Well done, Tim. I need to. Can someone give Tim a cookie? I haven't got my keyboard to hand. I can't type in the chat. Tim wins a BIS cookie. So, just a very quick, serious note from your host here, Richard. I just want to say, I'm just looking at I was just struck as I was playing that hymn, looking at the viewing numbers, which have just gone down by 5, so 5 people have just turned off. Bye. Oh no, more people are switching off now. 278. It's hilarious seeing the numbers go up and down to see what makes people switch off and stay tuned. Stay, don't switch off. Wait a minute, I'm going to say something, and it's to you, it's to everyone. Thank you. There we go. BIS cookie. Oh, you've got lots there, Tim. I just say it struck me the number watching was nearly at 300 whilst I was playing this hymn. And it just struck me that it would have been so easy for the viewing numbers, to have dropped down significantly post-COVID, when the world returned back to normal, when people were able to go back to church and people weren't stuck at home, essentially. I think BIS came into its own in COVID. I was doing live streams before COVID, but it came into its own when people were locked at home, which is when the numbers went up. And I'm just very grateful to everyone for sticking around, basically, because it could have so easily have reverted back to pre-COVID numbers. So I'm very grateful to you all for coming back and for just joining in with the fun on a weekly basis. Because it is weekly, isn't it? We do something every week, whether it's a pre-recorded premiere or whether it's live. So I'm very grateful to you all, and I really want to. I don't know whether I can without a keyboard. Let's see if I can. Let me just do this. Oh, come here, come here. Everyone will be switching off now. People are very impatient. Oh, this is pathetic. I need a mouse. I need a keyboard even. What I want you to do, I'm going to sort of just, you'd have to take my word for it, but I can't do it without a keyboard. It's impossible. I just want to give you all a big applause for coming back. Okay, so that's my thank you. That's a real animated hand clapping emoji there. I really appreciate. I really, really genuinely appreciate it. So could you all please just give it a hand clap to everyone watching, to everyone listening, to yourselves, to everyone. I'd really just like that. There we go. Thank you. That's what I want to see. I want to see everyone doing what Jerry and Maurice have just done. I can't do it because I haven't got a keyboard. I can give you some random emojis. Like I can give you bark, but I can't search for a hand clapping emoji, unfortunately. So thank you. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful place to be, isn't it? I think on this day of celebrations, the Queen's 70th year anniversary. I'm not sure we'll get to 70 years here at BIS. You never know. I think it's a moment for us to celebrate we've been going for over 2 years of live virtual churches and live recitals and stuff. BIS has been around for longer than that. BRS has been around since 2017, this channel, but we've been live streaming since 2019. So I think it's a good opportunity for us just to say a thank you to everyone. Okay, where are we going next then? I think we should have a wee organ piece, don't you? We've got quite a few organ pieces lined up today. We've got some choral music, like I said. I'll tell you what, let's have this one. This one this was sung at the coronation. It's a piece by Vaughan Williams. It's very simple. You know, the music for the coronation was very grand, big and flamboyant, big marches. They had pomp and circumstances performed at the end. Big trumpet tunes by Purcell. That was big, literally pomp and circumstance. And Vaughan Williams submitted this piece called "O Taste and See How Gracious the Lord Is." And it's very different to the music that would have come around it, if you see what I mean. I'm not sure whereabouts it came in the service, but it would have given the congregation a chance just to reflect. So I'm going to just play it, if that's okay. Most of you people who sing in choirs will know this. And look, it's just 1-2 pages. That's all it is. It's very, very short. Good news, Caroline's just arrived, so we might be able to have some duets later. So that was "O Taste and See." A lot of you will have known that from your choir days. Beautiful piece which starts with a solo voice.
Yeah, I cracked the first note at my friend's wedding. Sorry.
Did you hear that? So Caroline sang with us at her friend's wedding, and the very first note,
I cracked it.
she did a Tarzan on it.
So I don't like the piece. It gives me goosebumps.
These things happen. And we've got a few more choral pieces. If you're lucky, we might have Zadok, and I Was Glad, who will play as a duet. And also, Mark Cardenas has requested Fores Pie Jesu, which is nice, so we'll have that later on as well. We got a little bit of, and Mark has also requested Rule Britannia, which could be a lot of fun, but we'll save that to the very, very end. Okay, so the next hymn is going to be Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken, to the tune Abbot's Leigh, of course. I do know that Noel's done a very good last verse to this one. Let's find it. There it is. Who's this requested this? Oh, me. I requested this because this was sung on Friday at St. Paul's Cathedral. So it's glorious things of the outspoken Zion city of our God. Nick Knack, thank you very much for your request. What have you just asked for? Come Heiliger Geist, Buxtehude or Dupré. I don't know the one by Dupré. I think I know the Buxtehude ones. So we'll see about getting one of those. In the meantime, let's have glorious things of the are spoken. getting really hot in here. Literally hot in here. So I just opened the window, so if you can hear a little bit of bird song in the background, it's because it's getting really hot in here. Thank you very much, Paul, Riley and Paul, of course. And just a quick note to Paul, email received, and I think you'll have a positive reply to your email. But just bear with me. So somebody reminded me of carrot cake on Facebook. On the a quick opportunity for me to plug the BIS Organist Association on Facebook. BIS Organist Association. Search for it on Facebook. There's just a private group where we can go and chat away from YouTube about all sorts of things, really, mainly the organ. Someone put a picture on of some carrot cake. Who was it who put it on? Can you remember who it was?
Was it James?
I'm not sure. Someone, might have been someone who's a regular, and who put a picture of some carrot cake, and I said,
like carrot cake.
well, I said that the last time I had carrot cake, I ended up going to hospital, which is an entirely true story. I was hospitalised. I was decked and floored by a measly bit of carrot cake. If you ever want to find your own way to my heart and win me over, all you've got to do is make me some cake. And when I was living at home with my dad, a voice came up the stairs. What? What? There's some carrot cake down here. Just say it clearer then. Anyway, ran down the stair, which it was probably one stair, because if there's cake on offer, one leap and down the stairs into the kitchen, and the carrot cake, well, the cake, because I didn't know what it was just cake, was on the side. It looked very appealing. It was being nicely sliced and ready to eat, so scoffed it down in one, ran back upstairs in one leap, back to doing whatever I was doing. And as some of you will know, I have an allergy to nuts. And of course, what's the main ingredient? One of the main ingredients in carrot cake? Hazelnuts.
Walnuts, I think.
Is it walnuts? Is it?
Walnuts in mine.
Well, it's. I think you put nuts on top of it as well, don't you? On the icing.
They are in the sponge as well.
Yeah, so it's basically full of all lethal ingredients. Murderous cake it is. So very quickly, the old throat went like that. It swelled up, and I couldn't breathe. I had some Piriton. Is that the right word, or is it Pirites? Piriton, isn't it? Piriton, yes, which is a tableau, which basically, goes some way to reverse the effects of any allergy, hay fever and stuff like that. So I had one of those, and luckily it did work a little bit, and just thought, do you know what, if I go to bed now, go to sleep, I'll wake up and it will all have gone. It will just be like a bad dream. So I went to sleep, and then woke up promptly after about an hour. Obviously, it hadn't gone. It was there and getting worse. And I wasn't able to talk. It was like, my throat was like the Michelin Man. It was massive. Walking around like that. And I was having to talk to the paramedic on the phone. What had happened. Anyway, so I went down to hospital with my dad. He took me down and gave me an injection in the arm, like that. And then just as quickly as it came on, it went away like that. So that was ended up about 3 or 4 in the morning when that happened. Went home, went to bed, up at 5, and then I went into work, Tesco Express, which is when I was a teenager. That's where I was working, at Tesco. So I was doing the early shift, starting the bakery, turning on the ovens, putting in the donuts, doing all of the bakery stuff. Not that I ate any of them, never ate any of them. And I was in for work, having had 0 sleep and a near-death experience. But do you know what? Those donuts won't cook themselves.
Mark says this is a good story.
Well, it wouldn't have been so good if it hadn't quite survived.
It was Mark that made the carrot cake, by the way. I was wrong.
Yes, it was Mark. Yes, it was Mark.
I've offered to make Richard carrot cake with no walnuts.
No,
He absolutely rejects it.
Are you surprised? It's the flavour. It will just bring all those memories back. No, thank you. Anyway, Cheryl Hart has requested a hymn, and thank you, Cheryl, for your advance donation via PayPal. That's very kind of you. Thou Whose Almighty Word, to the tune Moscow, or as you Americans call it, Moscow, I think, isn't it? Moscow. I don't know what's right. What do the Russians call it? That would be the way to pronounce it, wouldn't it? Thou Whose Almighty Word. Do we find it? Go down to T. I don't know. Well, they must still call it. Well, yeah, they would, I suppose.
Thank you, Bill, for your donation.
I've got donations from Bill.
Of BIS. So that won't be with carrot cake then.
Care and feeding of BIS. Thank you very much, Bill Ratey, for your donation. No, it's definitely not feeding us with carrot cake. Thank you very much, Cheryl. That's a really wonderful hymn, and not one that we've had on BIS for a long time, I don't think. Could someone, if someone fancies it, on the, this is actually a top tip for everyone watching. If you go onto anyone's YouTube homepage, onto the main screen, there's a search icon, like a magnifying glass. Now what that does is it does not search YouTube, it will search that one channel only. So you can search for anything. And you guys know, oh gosh, how many virtual churches, how many hymns have we got through over the years? Hundreds, thousands of hymns. So what you could do is, if you want to hear me play a certain hymn or see whether I've played a hymn, go to that search and just type in any hymn you want and see whether it'll come up. But what it will do is it will search through all of the video descriptions, or through all those track lists which people like Benjamin Yao have, and Bill and others have put together. And it will bring back virtual churches where I've played that hymn, or organ piece. You search Mendelssohn, it'll bring back all of the instances where Mendelssohn is mentioned in the description, or the title. So top tip, I was going to say, can someone search for this hymn to see whether, if and when we've had this hymn previously? Thou whose almighty word, just search, type it in and see whether we have had it. We have, but I can't remember when it was, because it's been a long time since we've had that, I think. Derek has asked for another hymn. Derek Horn. I'm still not entirely sure. That's an R-N. I think it is. I think it might be just a type it. I don't know. Derek, anyway, has asked for a hymn. He's given me a reason. He's asked for this hymn. He says, I know it's cheeky to make a second request. Well, let's see what your reason is first. But thinking of Her Majesty's health issues, yes, and also those of some of the people in the chat, and indeed those many of us know and love, I thought it might be appropriate for us to seek God's healing and strength. And so to do that, Derek has suggested that we have Thine Arm, O Lord, in Days of Old, which is a terrific hymn, actually. So I thought I would entertain Derek and allow him to have 2 requests today. Let me just find it. The tune is called St. Matthew, and there are 3 verses. Well, thank you very much, Derek, for requesting that. And I think that's, yes, your idea of just bearing everyone in mind who might be, whose health is causing them grief, shall we say. Including our very own Queen, who is 96. She was unable to attend the Thanksgiving service, which is a shame, on Friday, but she was watching it on the television, we gather, which is rather sweet. Do you know, shall we have a little bit of a duet whilst you're here and Hugo's asleep? Because he might wake up at any minute, which will then render a duet not a duet. What's the opposite of a single, of a duet? Solo, isn't it? Well, what? Yeah. Let's see if we can get through one quick then.
I haven't rehearsed.
Well, of course. Well, I'd never rehearse anyway. No difference there. No change from the usual. So how should we do this? And let's. I'll tell you what. If you play, so I think what we could have is, because our little boy is currently oh no, is he waking up just now? Oh no, what shall I do? I'll tell you what. I'll play a trumpet tune by Purcell, and we'll see if he's going to stay down because he's just thrashing around a little bit. So I'm going to play this trumpet tune by Purcell because it was played at the coronation. It was played before the service, whilst the guests were all arriving. It was played. So we'll give it a bit of a. Can you imagine it having a really? This is often done at this sort of speed. Let's give it a little bit of a. Let's give it more gravitas. Let's just take off the edge a little bit and let's just enjoy a bit. Let's wallow a little bit in this.
Maurice wants you to play postman pair.
I'm not going to play that. You do realise that that it's the same first three notes as the Te Deum, isn't it? So that was the trumpet tune by Purcell, played rather slowly. I think there are other movements, are there? There are airs and other bits which would follow on from that. But that's all you get in today. Good night, Maurice. Good to have you with us as always. Right, so in the final half hour now. So the requests, actually, whilst Caroline's looking at up a request from Daniel, I'm just going to have a player request from Martin, who sent this in from Germany. And this is a German hymn. Atme in uns Heiliger Geist. Now, I googled the translation to this, and the translation is this. So it's obviously perfect for Pentecost. Breathe in us, Holy Spirit. Burn in us, Holy Spirit. Work in us, Holy Spirit. Breath of God, come. That's the refrain. Then there are 3 verses. The first verse is like this. Come, Spirit, penetrate us. Come, Ghost, come and visit us. Come, Spirit, revive us. We long for you. And this is what it sounds like. I don't think. I think this might be from the Taizé music community. When I searched for the text in Google, it came up with a Taizé website. So I'm going to make the assumption that it's a Taizé tune. And because it probably won't be overly well known, what I'll do is I'll just solo out the tune on the grand orgue. A little bit like this. So this is for Martin. Martin is one of our patrons, so thank you very much, Martin, for your ongoing support. Martin. You sang it yesterday for a confirmation ceremony, and today as well. It's nice. Yeah, nice. It does have that Taizé feel about it. I think personally, I find some of those Taizé chants very repetitive and unmusical, and don't speak to me in the slightest. I find myself getting annoyed by just listening to really bad music. But there are some Taizé chants which I really quite like. I think some Taizé chants which are undoubtedly really effective. And if they're done well, they can be very moving. But that is the whole point, isn't it? They have to be done well for it to have the right effect, I think. So Martin, glad you managed to request that. So thank you. So what am I playing next? What's this?
Daniel Kabaka's
Yep.
request.
What is Daniel Kabaka's request? Okay. Praise the Spirit in creation. It's for Pentecost. Praise the Spirit in creation, breath of God, life's origin, Spirit moving on the waters, quickening worlds to life within, source of breath, to all things breathing, life in whom all lives begin. It's from the 1982 hymn book. So we'll have this. There are lots of verses in here, but we won't have all of the verses. We'll have 3 verses, Daniel. So the music there is called, pronunciation is going to be incorrect because it looks like it's going to be pronounced differently to the way it's spelled. Finian, F-I-N-N-I-A-N, and it's by Christopher Durnley, who was organist at St Paul's Cathedral in London before emigrating to Australia, I think. The late Christopher Durnley, who unfortunately passed away rather abruptly, I think, which is very sad. So, actually now got quite a few organ sort of celebratory pieces now. We could call this from now on the after party. I've got some rather fun things lined up for you, including some duets, but my duet partner has just gone to feed or to do something with Hugo. Tell him a joke or something, I don't know. do whatever works so we can go back to sleep. So, where should we go first then? I tell you what. So because today is Pentecost, I'm going to turn around and grab this. Do you want this? Bit of this. This is the Duruflé variations on Veni Creator. Let's see if we can have a go through this, shall we? I think it would be rude not to have this on today of all days. Let me get my photocopy in the right place. I'll put that there. Put that one there. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll play the hymn over, as it were. I'll play the hymn for you, and then we'll go into the variations by Duruflé. You'll have to apologise that there will be a slight gap in between each variation because I haven't set them up, so I'll have to do it on the fly. But we'll start with the hymn, the plain song itself, before then going into the Duruflé. Perfect for Pentecost, isn't it, this? So you guys keep on chatting, and I will see you. I'll be back with you in a minute. So I'll see you after the Duruflé, after the wonderful final E major chord in this. It's a really great moment. There we go, the final movement of the rather epic prelude, adagio, and then choral variations on Veni Creator. And that was just the choral variations on it. And I think for Pentecost 2023, we really ought to have a look at learning the whole suite. I did learn the prelude and fugue on alle. I'm sure most of you have seen that already. So next year, perhaps, we can get that one learnt, along with the actual suite, the prelude, which I play already, Scherzetto, no, sorry, the Sicilian, and then the toccata. The toccata is infamously hard. So I can't make any promises with that one.
I've had another request come in from Alan, one of the patrons,
Yep.
for the Lord's My Shepherd to the tune Crimond, which I have here.
Oh yeah.
He also asked for a suitable last verse, so I have found it in the pink book.
Is there any reason why Alan wants this particular hymn
He
today?
just said, have we had Psalm 23 yet? And I said no.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
So Psalm 23, obviously the Lord is my shepherd, or the translation here is the Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie in pastures green. He leadeth me the quiet waters by. The tune is called Crimond. I'm just going to take a step out of party mode in a minute and go back into this beautiful hymn for Alan. So here we go, Psalm 23. So the two big anthems that were sung performed, sung at the coronation were I Was Glad and Zadok. So I don't know how this is going to work, but let's just see how we get on, shall we? If I give you the tuba moralibus, let's put Hugo there. So we've got Hugo watch as well, Hugo cam. And so if you need to play down here.
Oh, down there?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm going to get in your way.
So are you going to play?
I don't know what I'm going to play. I'm going to do the
I'm just,
bye bad.
no. Just,
Bye bad.
no, thank you.
Bye bad.
No, thank you.
You do not fancy shouting it. Bye bad.
I don't fancy shouting
Opening
it.
the microphone and just giving it a good yell.
No, thank you.
Dear.
I don't think it would go down very well.
They've just remastered the original recording from the coronation.
I've not heard that.
I heard it on
Have you
Radio
heard
3 the other day.
All right.
It was rather exciting.
I'll have to listen
And
out
the
for that.
shouting of the five hats.
Yes, I didn't know that was
And then they interviewed a chorister from the Scottish Borders who was one of 20 selected from the RSCM around the country to sing at the coronation. He did admit the occasion got to him and his voice didn't work for the first couple of notes of I Was Glad, but after the few bars he was in there.
Right, so yeah, so do you want to
Yes, he said the Queen appeared at the West
well, let's
Hall,
hopefully
and she processed down the aisle and they started this.
well that we know that, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see whether you can get your
I'm
first
rolling
note
up my
right.
sleeves.
Let's see if we can get your first note right. So just at the top part, I think, soprano 1.
Oh, all right. What about when it splits to two choirs?
Well, be creative.
Let's see,
Phew, I'm not quite sure how we got through that, but we did. Well played. It's funny because I've conducted that. I think I've conducted you singing that, haven't I, a few times. So you sort of know how I want it, which is luckily. And they breathe in the right place.
He told me to go faster at one point, though.
Yeah, you're going too slow. In the bit which often gets just drags with choirs always go too slow here. This bit here.
Yeah, but you weren't conducting.
Choirs often do this. Our feet shall stand in
Where does it say in the score, like, whatever it's called, moving on, whatever the word is in Italian?
Well, it doesn't say move on, but it doesn't say, neither does it say slow down either. That's the point. It needs to keep moving. Otherwise it becomes too self-indulgent, I think. Let's have another one.
Right,
So that Mark Cardenas has.
My right
Well, I know.
hand.
The problem is once you start, you can't stop. That didn't wake up Hugo. Okay, that's he obviously. We need to be a bit more. What do we need to be? If I put this on.
I was a bit worried actually going into the middle section. There were a lot of flats. I thought I might miss a C flat here. That'd be very embarrassing.
Everyone would have noticed that.
Yeah, they would. Of course they would.
Especially
oh my word! What's this? Oh my word! This is a bit agile for my fingers.
Yeah, this one, don't you?
Oh my word!
So yeah, same manual.
Right.
Same manual.
Oh,
Here we go.
word.
This is like the
It's going to be dodgy.
last night of the proms now. very much is, isn't it? Last night at the proms, that with flag waving. But well done. That seemed to work pretty well. You weren't expecting that one, were you?
No, not.
Let's have one more. No, in fact, we need to have the two more actually.
Jerry asked for Coe Fen earlier as well.
Oh, did he? Oh, well, that's a good hymn to end with. We could have that.
Right.
We could have that. Yeah. I'm just thinking we've got another request to play actually. Let me see if I can just quickly find it on here.
Missing Hugo's hand. Terence, in a few years, I'm sure you'll get Hugo's hand doing something.
What do you mean?
Well, missing Hugo's hand on the manuals.
One day, yeah, definitely. Well, he does now, doesn't he? Actually, just not very delicately. He starts banging it. That's a problem.
Oh, you don't need me for this one, do you?
Yeah, you could do it. So why don't I give you the horn?
Which manual now?
Great. And I'll play down here.
Oh, right. At least I'm not. So
this is a request from Mark. This is a quieter request. This is actually the Mark Cardenas has requested the Pie Jesu from Forre Requiem in memory of Father Paul from the Diocese of Tulsa and the shooting in Tulsa at a Catholic hospital. Well, that doesn't sound very positive, does it? So let's bear the people of Tulsa in mind, and thank you, Mark, for requesting this.
Well, its pedal cam's frozen apparently.
Is it?
Oh.
Weird. I wonder at what point. I
It's all too
wonder.
much for it.
I wonder at what point it froze.
It's all too much.
I wonder why it froze. Very strange. Lewis has donated £5. Thank you very much. Land of Hope and Glory. We need to find that. Oh, I can probably find it. It's the Elgar.
The other one, don't you?
Right, come on then. Let's just have a little tinkle of this beautiful.
So this manual, is that the great? This one.
Yeah, sounds a bit like you, that, doesn't it? Shall I give you the tremors as well?
Don't
Let's see what comes out.
Because Jonathan would say I need to go and see a doctor.
You won't get that joke. Right, here we go.
They might.
Nice wobbly horn, dear. Mark, hope that was okay for you. Have you ever seen that before on YouTube ever in your lives? Two people playing for a PA Jesu on the same organ. It's rather fun, isn't it, doing all of these sorts of duets? We could make a whole series out of it. Live impromptu duets.
Terence, I can't sing live because it would sound very strange because my voice is in a dry, carpeted dining room, and Dudelange is obviously a generous acoustics,
Oh, no.
and we struggle to do that. We would struggle to do it live. It wouldn't sound very good. So that's why when I sing, it's always pre-recorded.
Your mum has sent me a message
Why? What she said?
with an attachment. There must be a scan of something.
Oh, it's Coe Fen.
Because your mum's always on it, isn't she? I don't know what. I don't even know. We were missing something.
Wait.
What on earth is it?
Oh, thank you, Riley.
Oh, look,
that's
it's
very kind.
Land of Hope and Glory she's sent.
Oh,
There
is
we
that
go.
from her enormously popular Easy Arrangements? I bet it is. She's got a book of enormously popular pieces arranged for manuals.
They are enormously. What is it?
Enormous.
Pomp and Circumstance number 3, isn't it?
I don't know.
The one in E flat.
Whatever it is.
Is it
You
E
haven't
flat?
got the one upstairs. It's not that one. You've got the other one. The other famous one.
Oh, thank you, Paul. No, I've got them all upstairs.
Oh, have you? I didn't know that.
So Jerry requested Coe Fen.
I'm not going to play this one.
This is our final hymn, and we will have maybe something after it. What a wonderful hymn. What a wonderful hymn.
Right, Nick Knack left a super chat earlier for Come Heiliger Geist by Buxtehude, or was it Dupré? Now there are two in here, but they don't have any pencil markings, which makes me think perhaps you don't play them. But Richard, as we know, is the master of the sight reading, so only you will know.
The master of the fluffing. Okay, well, yes.
I'll turn your page if it helps, because you know how good I am at page turning.
Just wondering what's... Yes, quite. Oh, dear.
Interestingly, Anna Lapwood said she absolutely hates having page turners, which is why she has all her music
It's just, it is off-putting,
in massive
to be fair.
pages like Colin Walsh. She really doesn't like having a page turner. So you're not alone in hating page turners.
No,
If Nala turned your pages, would you be happy with that?
she would be perfect, wouldn't she? Well, Nick, I wouldn't say that was a definitive performance at all. I just, these chorale preludes are very different to Bach's, aren't they? Bach's are very concise, and it's almost quite clear what registration Bach wants in terms of whether there should be a quieter mutation or a big read. With these sorts of things, there's so much room for interpretation. I mean, even just the very first scale, what do you do with it? And how fast should it be? Should it be more beautiful and more lyrical? Or with it being Pentecost and about the Holy Spirit?
I think it should waffle like a ghost.
Yeah, well, maybe. This sort of speed. Or should it be a bit more waffly? It's really interesting. And the good thing about these pieces, I think even more so than Bach, is that you'll never hear two performances the same, because there's so much ambiguity, I think, with these chorale preludes. And of course, this organ isn't really suitable for North German Baroque music, I would say. Good for romantic music and English.
And duets.
So I think we should only have a couple more pieces, because it's 10:30.
I think we've got to do a
And we've been going for 2 hours 20 minutes. Although we've got a good number of people still watching. So I think we should give them some treats, because it's a special day, and we've got some special people watching. So let's spoil them. Yeah, let's spoil them. So let's turn off the iPad. Let's get these up, and you can do your duet again.
Oh, this one. No, how does this work with 2 editions?
No, it's straightforward.
It's not.
So you go down here again.
Oh, I preferred it up there.
No, but you haven't got the tuba up there. So down on the choir. Let's see if we can get through it before Hugo wakes up.
Can you put that over there then, please?
Well, let's leave it down there.
Are you turning pages or am I?
No, because you can't manage it. I'll do it. So, fourth duet tonight. Say Dr. Priest. This will be our final duet, I think. You're a bit early there. You're a bit early.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, well, that's you. That's your voice.
Lick no hand.
That one's a lot harder to play than the parry. I was glad, I can tell you. And actually playing it in performance and playing it properly is really, really daunting. It's very tricky, actually. It is. So it's, if I was playing it in performance, it would not be like that. Believe me, it would. I would be petrified. But it's rather fun just doing it on here. So we'll have a final piece tonight. Most of you would have seen this already because I recorded it just yesterday morning, rather quickly. But it's the Walton Crown Imperial. I thought we really ought to end with Crown Imperial. So this, I believe, this was played before the coronation. So in that moment when the audience, the congregation were all arriving, I think it was played as a pre-service voluntary. Let me get my number. I think it's 301. That doesn't sound right. Was that number? No. Was it 401? Aha, yes. Yes. That sounds a bit more Walton-y. So Crown Imperial, arranged by Morrill, with some new additions by moi. Hope you enjoy this. If you have enjoyed tonight's VC, by the way, please do consider becoming a patron or supporting Beauty and Sound via any of the other usual methods, PayPal or even a Super Chat. That would be really, really appreciated. So here we go, Crown Imperial. Oh, that was the Walton Crown Imperial there with some largely arranged by Morrill, with one or two, or quite a few liberties taken by me. So that's, I might actually get it written down, because if you like this piece, I really urge you to go and listen to the orchestral version. There's so much missing from this orchestration. It would soon become very hard to play, very impossible to play. It's similar to those very hard Le Maire arrangements, if you were doing all of those arpeggios and scales and all sorts of stuff. But it would be rather interesting to see whether it could be done. So I might, if I get time, I might have a look at rearranging it properly, getting it written down. I think, are we there? Have we done everything? Well, I think we ought to have, because it's good. I think we've, Lewis, you requested Land of Hope and Glory. Should we just have that as its final sort of palette cleanser?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's just a couple of pages, isn't it? We can all just sort of have a little sing through this. This is a rather simplified arrangement, so I apologise.
It's an enormously popular. You don't need me for this.
I don't think so, no. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything special with it, to be honest. Well, that's it. That's the final piece tonight. I've really enjoyed tonight. Have you enjoyed tonight?
Yes.
Good. Have you enjoyed tonight? I hope you've enjoyed tonight. If you have enjoyed Virtual Church, please do tell your friends about us. Please do click the like button on this video. I'm sure most of you have already, but if you haven't, goodness gracious, please do subscribe. Where are you up to with subs at the minute? Are we going to...
We missed a trick with the emojis
Oh.
for the channel members.
We need 3 more subscribers until we get to 81,400. So we're on 81397. So if there are three of you who haven't subscribed and are watching and want to, or intrigued about how this organ can make these sounds, are intrigued about how these two people in this room can play duets like, say, like the priest and I Was Glad and Forays Pia Jesu and what was the other one, Rule Britannia. You don't get that anywhere else. We also do a lot of sensible stuff, as people in the chat will attest to. We do a lot of sensible stuff, very highbrow recitals, very prim and proper. But then we do the polar opposite, lots of informalities and lots of fun. So that's one of the great things about having an organ in the dining room, the BIS music room. We can do what we want with it. Did you?
Yes.
Caroline had to wipe yogurt off the organ earlier, apparently.
The organ bench and side pedal board.
Shouldn't have told me that.
I've removed all the evidence.
So yes, if you want to subscribe, please do. Also, the cool kids amongst you, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that would be amazing. I've got an Instagram account there, some funky videos on there, including a video of William Fox, my organ student, and one or two things as well. So that's beauty.in.sound on Instagram. Patrons are also really appreciated. Patrons are people who can support the channel on a monthly basis, starting at £3 or £4. It's super, super cheap, basically the price of a coffee these days. I do appreciate that. Materials and coffee and petrol and bills are all going up in price. So of course, only if you can afford it. But it is really appreciated. All of our costs are going up as well. So things aren't getting cheaper running BIS. If you can't do that, PayPal or Super Chats are really supported. So, happy 70th anniversary to our Queen Elizabeth on her Platinum Jubilee. It's been a really wonderful occasion, and I'm going to end by, of course, saying cheerio, and I'm going to play you out with the National Anthem once more, the Gordon Jacobs fanfare at the beginning, going into the National Anthem. So until next time, I will say cheerio. You can say cheerio if you like.
Cheerio.
There we go. Cheerio from Caroline in the background. And I will see you next weekend.
Cheerio.
Here we go. Gordon Jacobs fanfare, followed by National Anthem, followed by Vaughan Williams, Rosie Medra.